Yes.
Mr. Porter? Mr. Sherwood?
Yes.
Mrs. Smrek?
Yes.
Will you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
mission statement, please.
The Austintown School District. The Austintown Local School District is a united community with a proud legacy and a progressive approach to education. We provide an inspiring education that strengthens and prepares our students for unlimited future opportunities.
Thank you. Item number 5.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Item number 6, public comments. I would remind that speakers are limited to no more than 3 minutes per speaker. And I would like to invite Rich Green forward, please. If you would, Mr. Green, let the board know. Yes, that'd be great. Name and address.
Hi, my name is Rick Green. I have live in Austintown. I have 2 children that go to Austintown schools, one in the middle school, one in the elementary. There's a couple things I want to address real quick. One is the water. My son recently spilled his bottle in class, and he had no access to bottled water or a filling station the whole day. He come home completely dehydrated, mentally unstable because he wasn't able to hydrate. We all know what that's like. You have to excuse me, I'm a little nervous. I'm kind of like jittery. So, Poland Schools has water bottle filling stations all over the school. Their kids have free access to water at all times. I think it's a human necessity for us to put this at the top of our priority list for our children. First thing. Second thing, we have very limited access to our students' curriculum right now. My son's in 6th grade. He took numerous pre-tests, and I had no way to see what was on him. It's kind of alarming to me because I prefer complete transparency. There's a lot of issues with social indoctrination nowadays, and I just prefer to see what my child is being taught. That's all, nothing more. And that's very important to me going forth, because if there is something that doesn't fall in line with our moral structure in our household, then we need to address it. So that's the second thing. Third thing is the quarantine procedures. My child is unvaccinated and he does not choose to wear a mask. That is our personal choice. That drops us into a different category. So it refers to Ohio's revised code and talks about quarantine procedures. However, it's very vague. If you guys have read it, there's nothing there. So I want a detailed explanation of what the quarantine procedures are for the public school system and the Ohio Department of Health. Specifically, what you guys do, if there is a reason to quarantine our children. Secondly, hypothetically, my child comes to school with a fever and a sore throat. How do we know that he has COVID or doesn't have COVID? What are your testing procedures for that? Do you just assume that he might be COVID positive and send him home or quarantine him? I mean, these are all things that are just completely vague to me, and we need to be specific with them. That drops us into the last category on the safe back to school procedures. And let me find it real quick. Oh, here we go. Okay. The child can only return to the classroom and extracurricular activities after 7 days if they have received a negative viral, PCR, or antigen test that is performed at least 5 days after exposure. I'm sure you guys are familiar with the CDC recalling the PCR tests. They're completely inaccurate, and there's no basis on whether they give a false positive or not. And that moves us to the antigen testing. MIT, the Educational Bureau, did a study recently that the new antigen tests, they're similar to a strep test, where your mouth is swabbed, 15 minutes later, it comes back positive or negative. However, it clearly states by the FDA that it's highly inaccurate. There's plenty of false negatives. I have links for all this stuff I'm speaking of. I'll give you guys a copy of it if you wish to look over it. But these are they're just tremendous issues in everyone's life right now, and I implore you to look at these things and just see what you can do as a parent, as a part of the community. I want to be here. I haven't been part of the community like I should have been, so you might unfortunately see more of me and my wife and our family, but now more than ever, we need to be part of this community. We need to be part of what's going on in our schools, and this is just the first step, so thank you. Sure. That's the right one. Thank you, guys.
Do you want me to comment on some of these, though? Yeah, I want to absolutely clear up some of these. From day one with the water, Mr. Green, we did not shut those off or cover them. We were given directive to all the maintenance people to uncover and have the water going. So if there's an area that's still not working, I'm glad to know, and we fix that right away, because we want access to the water. That's first. So if there's an area, please let us know, or the building principal. The pre-testing, I'm not sure about that, but contact your building principal for what you're concerned about on the pre-test. As far as the curriculum goes, that's again another one for the building principal, but we do teach the state standards. Okay, that's our Bible, if you will, for education, are the state standards. Now there's some things in there that some people might not like, but we have not touched any of those controversial topics that have come out at all. Okay, so that's not there. What ORC, what the schools can do versus what the health department can do, it was going back and forth for the last 2 weeks with the lawyers. The Mahoning County lawyer versus all the superintendents. We get updated every Wednesday by the health department. And we were going back and forth because schools don't have the right to quarantine. Only the health department can use that word. So then they come back with, we're allowed to isolate. It's semantics, okay? So the school can isolate a child if they pose spreading any kind of disease that we are facing right now, right? The health department has changed the rules from day one. I put out a message before school started, and those rules have already changed. So we're trying to keep up with that as well. Anything like that, please give me a call, come in. I'd be glad to sit down with you and go over what we know right now. Next Wednesday, things could change again. The return policy on a child, those are very specific. There's a flow chart that the nurses have and how someone is close contact versus someone comes down with it and they get tested positive. Also, I gave to the nurses right now the descriptors of COVID and then allergies and then also the seasonal flu. There's a lot of interchangeable parts, so you make a very good point that what is it? We don't know right away, you know? So until you get tested, you're not gonna know that answer either, okay? But anything else that I didn't answer right now, please come on in. I'd be glad to sit down with you. Okay, thank you, sir.
Okay, on behalf of Fitch High School, I am Mr. Kelty, the building principal. I think you did a good job, Rick. Good evening to everyone. Welcome back. A big thanks to our staff, students, and families for a smooth start to our 21-22 school year. Thanks to our teachers, Mr. Hubisak and Ms. Sawley, for training and successfully running our Link Crew freshman orientation. Of course, honestly, a big thank you to our board for approving all the work being done around Fitch. Thank you to our maintenance crew for all their hard work with everything. Please be proud of this. I mean, embrace it. The new concrete, the new parking lot, the soon-to-be completed roof. Thank you. Congratulations to all our fall athletes, along with our marching band. We're off to a great start. Family air reports will be distributed this week for our spring testing. Homecoming game, come on. September 24th. Our dance is for Fitch students only, period. September 25th. We have our junior ROTC program that's on. It's going on its second year. We are just shy of our goal of 100 students. We are currently at 93. Ohio Department of Education reached out to us also to give us an award again for our Purple Star recipient this year. We ordered new water filling stations, and they will be installed very soon. We have 4 presently at Fitch. And lastly, our new Intro to Trades class will be attending the Mahoning Valley Schools Trade Expo next Wednesday, September 22nd. So thank you, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I am Robin Vickers. I'm the building principal of AMS. So you need to speak to me. We'll talk after. So we're up and going. Hard to believe it's week 3. So I'd like to welcome our new employees. I have a brand new 6th grade principal, Angela Kopp. She's been doing fabulous, just jumped right in. I have a new front desk secretary, Kim Delbean. Mike Horniak joined me for art. Autumn Crump is my new 6th grade counselor. Lydia Conklin is our new crosscat teacher, and Pam Burney is teaching a brand new class for AMS called Social Literacy that is focusing on going out into the community, forming partnerships with them, and doing some community service. My after-school intervention and enrichment program will be starting in October. We formed a new partnership with OWOW Science, so really excited about that one. United Way is also helping us with that, and we will also be offering yoga and art and some other things. And finally, our teachers have been trained on a new benchmark and progress monitoring program, IXL, and we're going to be using that data to help identify and close the gaps, learning gaps of our students, so we're pretty excited about that. And that's what's happening at AMS right now.
Good evening, everyone. Just some updates for AIS, a few things. We've had a great start to the year. We just are finishing up this week our iReady diagnostic testing. Last week was language arts. This week is math. We're finishing that up. And the big thing for us is it's hard to imagine, but in about less than a month, we're going to be testing 3rd graders with their first state test. So October 19th and 20th, the littlest ones in our building will be taking a state test in language arts that includes reading and writing as well. And that's a big obstacle or event for them, as that is one of the opportunities for 3rd graders to pass that state test to be able to pass the grade. So 3rd grade is buckled down and doing the best they can. The only other thing I want to say tonight is I want to thank everyone, all the departments again, for the start to the year. I'm not sure that everyone realizes all the moving pieces and parts and the kids and families and all the departments from food service to nurses to maintenance to central office that it takes to have a good start to the year. And as principals, we all know that start sets a tone and matters a lot. The other thing too is it was an important start because for some students, this is the first time they've been in school in a very long time. So we worked really hard to make sure that those students have morning meetings, they have a chance to get with their teacher and start the day off right with some moments to talk and chat and connect versus hitting academics, because sometimes it's just important to welcome them back in and make sure that they're primed and ready for learning. So great start to the school year. I just want to thank everyone.
Good evening, everyone. I'll just echo what's been said in thanking all of our Austintown staff and families for making it a great start. We had a staggered preschool orientation that was face-to-face that brought in over 150 family members. And we also had our virtual open house in September where 364 parents attended. Currently, we are dibbling our students, for those of you who don't know what that is. We're not hurting them. It is a short series of tests. It's the dynamic indicators of basic early literacy skills. So that helps us understand where they are at and if they need any reading improvement plans or things like that, so we can get them ready for that test that Angel just talked about. We also have exciting times coming upon us. We have our Falcon outreach and many other things planned with our wonderful PTA. So we're very excited for what September and early October hold. Thank you.
in association with Austintown Local Schools and Austintown Township.